Hello everybody, this is Maniac for Bricks, and I'm here today with another LEGO flashback video. We take another look into oddities from the past, my personal past, that relate to LEGO. So, for today we're looking at a binder that says Project LEGO, the history behind America's favorite toy. Inside of it doesn't really have anything. It did have a Ziploc bag, but it had a whole bunch of index cards in there, which I have now in my hands. We also have this peculiar VHS tape. It says The History of LEGO by Joey. Even says it on the sides. And on the back it reads, "This video describes the origin of America's favorite toy, 4 minutes." Now unfortunately I can't show you this video for a couple of reasons, and one of the main ones being that it's a VHS and I can't transmit that to YouTube at this point, but this is a thing that goes along with some of our other things for today. This was a LEGO project that I developed in 5th grade. In English class, I was instructed to write up the history about something I like, and this left a lot of opportunity open for a lot of different things. So I took advantage of the opportunity and I decided to write about the history of LEGO. Now, to help me with some of my research, I was able to use a Dorling Kindersley book called The Ultimate LEGO Book. At the time, this was my biggest source of information all in one place for LEGO. It has tons of pages inside that show you all about LEGO back to its origins. And I'll maybe review this book at a later time, if I haven't done so already. So we'll take a look right now at the index cards. And these basically give a synopsis of the history of LEGO. There are a lot of areas that are left open, obviously, but these are some footnotes that were from this book. And it was actually a fun project, because not only did I get to write about something I like to do, but the VHS was the first LEGO video I ever made. This was used for a presentation in the class, which was optional. Otherwise, I would have just had a little board with a display and talk about it in class, but I wanted to have fun with it and make a video. Perhaps the first LEGO video that I ever made. And this was in 2005, a time that we remember something else that happened in LEGO personal Maniac for Bricks history. So we'll take a look at what we have for these index cards. I'll try to go through them relatively quickly. First one just says, the history and making of LEGO. And these are all footnotes. There's no exact sentence structure. Some of them are a little off of sentence structure. It says, 1932, Ole Kirk Christiansen creates a small business in Billund, Denmark. I also did drawings with each of these, so I remembered what I was drawing in them, or what the information was about. 1934, Christiansen adopts LEGO from Leg Godt, which means play well. I tried to draw the famous wooden duck. Maybe we'll see more about that later on. 1942, LEGO factory burns down, rebuilt soon thereafter. I was not a particularly advanced drawer, artist. A lot of these are very simple. 1947. Before the factory was burnt, LEGO made plastic toys. Now they are forced to make them of wood. I'd have to do a little bit of research on that, because I don't know if that's entirely true. And also, don't worry about my hands. They do have a little bit of pen ink on them, because the pen exploded recently. It's been hard to clean off. No problem there. I didn't want to draw attention to it, but if you saw that, that's why. 1950. Ole Kirk's son, Godfred Kirk Christiansen, is appointed. I guess I didn't know what appointed meant at that time, so I just had a guy pointing. Let's see. New actual stud and tube coupling system released with LEGO System of Play, with extra parts a few years later, making them more stable. Makes them more stable. 1951. Plastic toys are made. Automatic binding bricks names them LEGO bricks. There's also a picture that shows the top and bottom of what we know today as a LEGO brick. Your basics. 1958. Ole Christiansen dies. Gottfried is head of the company. Original warehouse is destroyed by fire. They are now focused on plastic blocks that quickly became popular around the world. Now, when I made the video presentation, it was with a different script than this one. The script that I used in that presentation was most likely used with the project that I finally submitted on an actual piece of paper with paragraphs on it. 1963. Legos are made brighter, better color quality, and stronger for longer life in toy boxes everywhere. There's a look at it there. In 1969, 12-volt motors and the first electric track were released. 1966 to 1969, the first Lego train is made. A 4.5-volt motor was launched at the same time. I tried to draw them. 1967, Duplo brand released. Duplos are larger than the Lego block for children under 5. Tried to show a size comparison between them and how they can interact with them. 1980, the second railroad tracks and railroad tie were made. The tracks were no different from the first, just gray. It shows the tie in the middle. That way you can connect the tracks together. 1990s, Lego has its own website. We make a big jump, by the way. There's a lot of information skipped in between, such as the first minifigure. Today, or even printing for minifigures. Today, grandson Kjeld Kirk Christiansen is currently at the helm. Today, millions of Legos are being produced now with trains and wheels. Yes, at the time I didn't know Legos was the right term. The wrong term. Excuse me. Even the Lego employees build every once in a while. Lego creates magazines, catalogs, and commercials to spread their news. It even says in the middle, toying with the toys. Like he's just looking at it like, what can I make out of this? Legos are suddenly everywhere. The next decade will only bring more and more models as more and more... Just cuts off at the end of the index card. It also shows us on here, Legoland in Carlsbad, California, Lego Company in Connecticut, Lego Mindstorms 1.0 and 2.0, NXT, and then a question mark over 2010. I think we know by now what's been happening with Lego and how bigger they've been growing. Children run for their toy boxes to create their own world with Lego. Lego creates NXT, a robot you can build and command. It also shows different parts of them on there, one of the models, Bluetooth cell phone communication technology. Lego Digital Designer is upgraded to 1.6 with support for train elements, animated trains, sound effects, and more. This was 2005, so this no longer applies, but I do remember when they had that. Lego Dacta, the educational division of the Lego Group. It involves software programs and Lego bricks. There's a look at one of the control center panels. Making Lego people. The machine puts upper bodies of Lego people together. Torsos are fed onto small conveyor belts. And I show a sample of it right here. Content. The completed display tray is packed together with other Lego elements into a large box. There are some Lego sets that do that. Not much anymore. You get different bags for them now. The final touch. Small box erected, Lego pieces counted, and closed. I don't think there's a Lego set that looks like that. And then the last page is simply a bibliography, giving credit to the Ultimate Lego book, and assortment.com. Apparently I used a website source for finding out Lego's history. So this was a nice look at a project that I made in 5th grade. I was so much into Lego, I wanted to learn more about its past. And the book was definitely a big help. with learning about that at that time. Obviously, there's much more history that's gone through about LEGO since then, and much more behind it that I have not even covered in this video. If you want to learn more about it, you can check out some other LEGO books, such as, if I can get it out of here, because it is tightly packed, the LEGO book. This has a lot more updated information than the Ultimate LEGO book. I may review these at some later time on my channel. Be interesting to go back on those and see how they are in terms of information. But I hope this was a fun video for you guys. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Did you ever make a LEGO project for school? In fact, maybe I have another thing to show you around here if I can find it, because it was another LEGO project I made for school one time. But we'll see you next time with more LEGO videos.